Okay, welcome to our Lower School Lowdown podcast. And today we're here with Kirsten V. We're talking about how to plunge into summer with some good books and some good summertime reads for adults and for kids. So Kirsten, do you want to kick us off by just telling us a little bit about yourself, your family, some favorite hobbies, things like that?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me on. I am honored to be your first guest. Super exciting. My family includes my husband, Jack, who is starting a new job as an athletic director at the Weber School. He was at the Howard School for the last 8 years, and so that will be an exciting new challenge for him. And then I have my eldest daughter, who is going to be a sophomore at the University of Alabama. That's Callie, and she's studying to be a nurse. Yes, roll tide. She is doing great there. She's loving it. It was a rough first year last year for her. And then Chloe is my youngest. She is going to be a senior this year, so we have lots of big questions for her, like where she's going to go next year. And she is at the Dunwoody High School.
Amazing.
And then the best part of my family is the dog, Pilot.
Aww.
He's my puppy. He's the sweetest part. He loves everything and everyone. You asked a couple about my favorite things. I'm going to jump in on, I love to play Mahjong.
Oh, yes. I love this. I need to learn how to play Mahjong.
So I want to start a Monday Mahjong group that meets once a month. And I thought I have 2 sets of tiles, so I could probably get 7 people going, and then if people have other Mahjong tiles, we could have a Monday Mahjong thing once a month in the library.
Oh my gosh, I'm definitely joining that. I would love that.
I'm happy to teach.
Yeah, I know nothing.
It's easy once you get it, but I've really enjoyed learning how to do it. I learned probably about 1.5 years ago, and now I play at least twice a week. And so if I join another or get another group, we'll have more. But I love doing that. I love also reading, obviously. And hope to continue the faculty book club, which you come to quite often.
Yes, I'm excited about that. I'm hoping that I have a little bit more time to actually attend the sessions this year. I missed the last few, and I was really upset about it, but here we are.
Well, I always try to tell people, even if you can't make the meeting, which I know we're all busy, we have a ton of things going on, just talk about the book with somebody in the building, because I think we need to change the culture to be more of a reading culture, and it's a great way to build community here. So I hope other people join this year.
Yeah, I love that. What do you love about your role as the librarian in the lower school?
This actually took a little bit of let me think about what it is that I love, because there's so many pieces that I love. So I had to pre-write it and kind of put together all those pieces. But I like how this is a unique space with low pressure for the students. Mm-hmm. Because there's no grades here, students have a different comfort level, and I strive to make everyone feel safe, supported, and welcome. So whether it's introducing a regular reader to a brand new world or hosting a fun activity to bring a non-reader in, my goal is always the same. I view this library as a vibrant community hub, a place where we can build culture, encourage personal passions, and discover a love for stories and books together with students and faculty.
Yeah, I love that. I think that a lot of the students just love participating in the challenges. I know especially the ones where it's they get to read as little pairs and they get to do things together. I think that a lot of, especially our girls, gravitate towards that. So
I'm always looking for fun ways to bring in non-readers, because there's a lot of them out there. So if there's ideas out there, hit me up. I would love to try to do something fun. That's why Michael has been great about allowing the kids to pie him in the face, and
yes,
we go together is fun, like you were talking about. It's just different challenges, different ways to bring kids in and get them excited about being here. I even had Tammy Felton come tell me yesterday that because of the challenge where they had to go get their library card, her 3 girls were asking her to go to the library, their public library, and they've gone 5 times this summer, and they've read multiple books, and it's all because of that challenge.
Oh, that's amazing. I love to hear that. That even brought to my attention that I didn't have my public library card updated, because all my students were coming in with their public library cards, and I was like, oh, I need to update this, which it's actually really easy. You can update some things online now and just get digital ones, which I didn't realize. It's the world of technology. Okay, so are you kicking off any reading challenges this summer?
So I feel like I kind of fell off the wagon a little bit with the summer challenges for the students, but I did find one that I thought was super fun. And yeah, it's right there. I put it in everybody's box. And then Danielle, maybe you will send it out when you send out this podcast.
Yes, for sure.
There are some super cute ones on there, like Read Before Sunset, Visit a Free Little Library, Find a New Author. So I think that is really obtainable and kind of fun. I will have to come up with what the prize is, because there always has to be a prize other than just reading. But I also wanted to mention another challenge that I had going, because you helped me kind of form this one a little bit.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, you don't even know about it.
I don't even know about this.
I want to do, last year I did the 35 book challenge, and I think it went really well, but I want to push that a little bit more and go to a 100 book challenge, which is what you were kind of trying to do.
Yes, my class was so excited. We loved the 35 book challenge. And then I started incorporating books into some of our subject areas, actually, is where it started. I started reading some books for math class and a couple books for science. And then the students were like, oh, we need to add those to our board. And I agreed with them. And so we started adding things there. And then we added books that they were reading in English class. And we ended the year at 94. I was really bummed that we didn't get to 100, but we were almost there, and we didn't realize that we were almost there until almost the last week of school. And so
I want to challenge people to do a full 100. And I actually went back and counted how many I did last year. I have about 90 books on that spreadsheet.
That's amazing.
So, we're really close to having at least 100 if you do every single one. And I have more plans because I want to do an author study, and I want to do different subject areas like you were doing. So, and you were giving me some great suggestions. So that's a challenge to be looking forward to for this year with all of the teachers, to get 100 books, because I think that builds that reading culture. It builds background knowledge, and they don't get read to as often as they should. So.
Yes, that's definitely true. And I don't know how it went for other classes, but for my class, they just loved being read to. And I actually found somebody on Instagram. I'll put his name in the tag of this because I can't remember the account name right now, but he recommends short stories just for upper elementary, which is amazing, because sometimes you'll find recommendations for books, but it's all novel studies for upper elementary, or it's just younger grades that you're getting book recommendations for. So I'm excited to have some that are upper elementary too.
I think people kind of forget that picture books are written at like a 5th, 6th grade level, and that the vocabulary is still going to be developing there. And a lot of these kids have not been read to recently, so having that background knowledge is really good. I was shocked when you guys dressed up as the Wild Things, and half the kids didn't know that book, Where the Wild Things Are.
Yes, yeah. And this past Halloween, we were Winnie the Pooh, and the kids knew Winnie, and they knew maybe Piglet, but they didn't know a lot of the other characters from Winnie the Pooh. And so I actually read them one of the original Winnie the Pooh stories as well for Halloween. So let's talk a little bit about reading then. What are some standout books you'd recommend for kids to read this summer? So any of our faculty members that have kids that they're looking for some good books, or that we should read as teachers that maybe will kind of inform us or help us suggest books for kids?
Well, I always suggest for the teachers to read the books that the kids are reading, because if you haven't read Gregor, then you're missing out on a big conversation piece with the 5th grade, right? Mm-hmm. So read the books that the kids are reading, even what you're reading in class. So find the books that you guys are reading and do that. I love Front Desk, and you guys read that, but I don't think very many people read that one.
Yeah, I haven't read that one yet.
You guys read Brave like that last year. I think that one's an amazing one.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely for teachers, I feel like you guys should definitely read the books that the kids are reading, because it's a great conversation piece. But there are some new books out that I'm really excited about too. There's this one called J versus K, which is by Kwame Alexander and Jerry Craft. And they are such great authors, and they do some graphic novels, and the kids always have those checked out. So I'm excited to see what that book is. Catherine Applegate, whom we all love because she's the one and only Ivan author. She also has a new book out that's called Pocket Bear.
Oh yes, the cover for that is so cute.
It is so adorable. It's It's about a small World War I era teddy bear named Pocket who leads a group of found toys in a rehabilitation home guided by a tough-loving cat. So it will be a lot of fun for, I think, your fourth graders.
Oh, I love that.
And then there's another new book that was getting a lot of purchase. Is called Radiant by Vanda Nelson, and it's 1963 Pittsburgh. This black girl is navigating turmoil on a personal and national scale. So it's a book in verse, which I find is very obtainable for a lot of kids who struggle with reading because there's just not so many words. I like suggesting novels in verse because I think that they are very deep, but they are easy for reluctant readers because there's not too many words to overwhelm them. And I find that happens a lot. You asked about books for teachers to read with their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And, go with the classics, the ones that are going to build some background knowledge. Some of the things that they haven't read, like Crossover by Kwame Alexander, another one in verse. Starfish by Lisa Flips, another one in verse. I just love the classics because they're not getting those.
Okay. Yeah. I think that, a lot of them latch on to those books that are just coming out, brand new books, and then the classics kind of fall to the wayside. So sometimes it's nice to loop something like that in. What about for adult summer reading? So are there any genres that you're seeing adults gravitating towards? Anything that you should recommend?
Well, this one I had to do a lot of research on because I love to read, but I was kind of like, I already had my to-be read list, and I was like, I wonder what Danielle's to-be read lists are.
Oh, yes.
So genres, I don't know. I think that everybody's kind of all over the place. One of the books that came out recently that I'm really excited about is called A Pair of Aces. It's a historical fiction, and it's by the same authors of The Personal Librarian, which we read as the first year in our book club. Mm-hmm. And I loved how that book was written and done. And that one is... it is about a black female prosecutor and a high school madam who team up in New York to take down a mob boss, Lucky Luciano, by focusing on his prostitution racket. So they are from opposite sides of the law trying to work through this trial. So I'm excited about
that sounds so interesting.
And then for those of you who like a little bit of smut, I heard that there's Stephanie Meyer who wrote Twilight. She's got The Chemist out, and I heard that it's like a Jason Bourne book with romance added to it. So
interesting.
That was something that I thought would be fun for people.
Yes. Well, and on my summer TBR list, I've been reading through all of the Sarah J. Maas books because I know that she's coming out with her book 6 and book 7 of the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. So I was like, I hadn't read through that whole series. I had only read the first book. And so I need to read this whole series.
Are you enjoying them?
I am. Yes. I'm on book 5 actually of ACOTAR now. And then I have the Crescent City series still. So I've read at that point, I will have read all of her books.
I called my last summer Sarah J. Maas summer because I read everything last summer. The other thing I wanted to know if people were interested in these, there's 2 books that have Netflix series coming out. It's called The World Behind by Rumaan Alam. It's this idea that this family goes out to a luxurious vacation home on Long Island for a quiet getaway. And then there's a late door knock on the door, and there's an elder couple in panic saying that this is their home, but everything has shut down. There's a blackout in New York City, so they can't check any internet or TV or anything. And that's coming to Netflix.
Oh, interesting. So that's kind of like a little bit of a thriller type of genre, maybe.
And I like to read books before they come out, before I watch them. And then there was another one that's coming out to Netflix called The Devil's Star by Joe Nesbo. And it's all about these a police force and a serial killer. And there's one policeman who is grief-stricken and he is struggling with reality, but he gets paired up with another police officer who they think is on the take. So I think that one will be really good too. I figure if Netflix is going to make it into a show, it's probably a great story to read.
Yes, that sounds really interesting. What about any books that are nonfiction reads that you might recommend?
So I am not a huge wonderful nonfiction reader. I'll be honest about that. I love me a good historical fiction because it gives you both. I just talked about this with my sister-in-law. It's Edward Rutherford's New York. It's a historical saga, and it basically takes multiple families through time. And she was telling me all about it. He's written a bunch of different cities, but this one, I'm going to have to read the summary for you. It is a historical saga that traces the city's history from its Dutch colonial beginnings to the early 21st century. It was published in 2009. It lists several fictional families, including the wealthy Van Dykes, the Irish O'Donnells, and the Italian Carusos, whose stories intertwine with major historical events like the Revolution, the Civil War, the World Trade Center attacks. And it blends the fictional characters with real historical figures, offering a rich multi-generational narrative of the city's growth, struggles, and triumphs. And I thought that would be really interesting to see how they took all of that and expanded it. My sister-in-law read it, and she said it was great.
Right. That's so interesting. That's kind of giving almost Briar Club vibes a little bit. The historical, but it's also fiction, and there's some real characters in there. That's very cool.
The last thing that I kind of wanted to discuss was a lot of people talk about different types of reading, and audiobooks are one of my favorite ways to listen. Yes. So I don't suggest any actual audiobook because I listen to almost everything on audiobook. That's how I drive so far because I'm live in Dunwoody.
Yes, you and I are in the same boat with that one because I'm in Chamblee, and so my commute is incredibly long. I feel like I spend my life in the car sometimes, and so hence the podcast, guys. But I also think that audiobooks, some people are like, oh, it's not reading, and I firmly disagree with that.
So I found a little bit of research showing that your brain processes individual words, whether they're entering through your eyes or your ears, and the way that they understand the story, extract meaning, and visualize the plot is identical. They did a study on that in your brain.
Ah, yes. So tie-in research. Perfect. Thank you. Now I have research to back this up that it is in fact reading. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I did want to do this year, and I talked with Alex about this, that I wanted to kind of have some blurbs on the newsletters that go out about different types of reading and things, because one of the things that I have in the library, but I don't think people see it very often, is that if you read scary stories, it builds resilience. That has research has shown that the kids are building resilience if they're reading scary stories. So encourage that to the kid that might need some extra resilience, or, how many books you need to be reading to kind of keep up your reading path, where parents are always like, well, what should they be reading? Well, no, it's more of just the amount of reading, not what they should be reading.
Right. Yeah. Because any amount of reading, if they're increasing the amount of reading, they're going to increase their vocabulary, which is just so helpful. And I think that that's one thing that parents don't always see, is that how important and crucial the vocabulary development is for their comprehension later on.
Agreed. And then the other battle that you'll always have is the graphic novel versus the novel, because a lot of parents will, no more graphic novels, but there's a lot of vocabulary development there. There's also a lot of learning about informational science and how they're reading, because sometimes a little space could be a passage of a day or a passage of time, or the shade of this color is going to create something different. So I think it's important to realize what the benefits are. And at this point, we definitely need to have kids more in paper than on a screen.
Yes.
So any way that we can get the kids on the paper, give them a book, graphic novel, give them some information, even the, what's weird or crazy things, that is better than putting somebody on a screen. So.
Yes, I completely agree with that. And I think too, sometimes people don't realize how beneficial it might be and I do this a lot with my grad school books that are a little bit more dense. I'll listen the same time that I'm reading it. And that is so helpful for me. Or I actually, hot take from Alex, she told me about how she'll sometimes put in her papers, things like that are really dense, into Notebook LM, and it will produce a podcast for you. And so sometimes I'll listen to it first and then go home and read it. And then it makes it so much more digestible that way. Parents could maybe use some of that with their kids, even of just listening to it in the car and then go home and read the chapter again.
Agreed. So I'm hoping to get some more parent involvement this year with reading with the kids.
I love the idea, though, of including that into newsletter blurbs. I think sometimes just people don't know what they don't know.
Right. And if you do a quick little graphic, I think that it will pick up faster.
Thank you so much for being willing to be my first guest on the Lower School Lowdown podcast. Our goal with this is exactly what you're talking about, with trying to encourage more professional development conversations, more conversations across our school building, more conversations about educational research, things like that. And we're trying to increase the awareness of that. But I figure nobody has time. We're a fast-paced world. And so what do most people at Woodward have time for, though? Listening to things in the car, I feel like. Yeah. Or listening to things while you're on your walk, or if you're Izzy Christensen while you're training for your New York City Marathon, things like that. So I really appreciate you speaking with us. Is there anything else you want us to know about the library or about reading for this summer?
No, I think just read something good and share it with somebody, and that's kind of the goal for everybody, right?